I'm going to unbox Into the Woods, the Battle of Shiloh, April 6th through 7th, 1862. This is part of the Great Battles of the American Civil War and is published by GMT Games. The original series designer was Richard Berg, going back to the terrible Swift Sword days, and the game designer for this version, or this game, is Dick Whitaker. Now, I have several games in this series already, which includes Twin Peaks, Dead of Winter, and Death Valley, which Death Valley, by the way, a lot of game in this box. And one of the people I think that was involved in at least the Vassal module, if not some of the supplements for Death Valley, was my good old friend Stigler. If you ever watch anything in this community, you're gonna see Stigler pop up. And I asked him to talk me off the ledge of getting into this one, since I have all these other games in this series that I have not, really haven't done justice to them yet. Really haven't got them to the table enough. And he pretty much gave me some good comments on, pros and cons, and basically said, spend my time with Death Valley. But you know me, I just can't resist, a good series. I love series. I love, having a common rule set. And decided to dive into this one. Now, this one I think does have some differences with the other series. I think it changed up some of the combat in woods, or the woods terrains, because of, a lot of these battles were fought in pretty heavy woods, and how would you have a battle like that under the normal rules? So I think there was some modification there. But in needless to say, I dove into this one anyway. Can you blame me? I mean, look at that map. Look at the woods you see in those maps there. So you get an example of the woods on the back there, or an example of the map. You've got the counters there. 1 to 4 players. 1 is kind of a misnomer here. There's not a solitaire system built for this, but there is, kind of an activation system built into this series, which again lends that self to solitaire play. 3 to 8 hours. There's several different scenarios in here. I would assume the shortest one they're estimating at 3 hours. It has complexity at a 7 out of 9 and a solitaire at a 7 out of 9. Again, there's not a solo dedicated bot in this system, but there is the activation, so you can play both sides to the best of your ability, which again, if you ever look back at the great debate that I had with Senor Stigler, you know where he lands on that and where I land on that. What you get in the game box is 2 full-size game maps, 2 small scenario game maps, 4.5 counter sheets, 1 battle book, 1 Great Battles of the American Civil War series book. Again, I love my series. 1 turn record track, 2 efficiency activation sheets, 2 terrain effects disorder charts, 2 combat table folders, 2 battle events / ammo resupply charts, 1 alert schedule / roar battle, and 2 10-sided dice. That ammo resupply, I think that's an optional rule. I don't think that's something that you have to play, but if you're wanting to get into this and get all the full chrome, then probably something you want to play. So let's dive into this box here and see what we get. One thing I will notice is that all these other boxes have kind of a light tan on one side and a blue on the other, where this is, you have a kind of a dark brown on one side and a dark brown on the other. So they are going to a little different look there. Just when I put it on the shelf, it's kind of sticks out. Whether I put it on the other ones on the light tan side or the dark blue side. Just a little bit of OCD to spike in there. Don't mind me, or don't mind it. A good thick box there. Very, very sturdy. GMT is doing the thicker box these days. You're going to get the battle book, which this has all the different scenarios, as you can see in here. Quite a bit. Shiloh, and again, this is dealing with the Battle of Shiloh, so anything in around Shiloh. Shiloh, Sound the Long Roll, The Morning Action, The Hornet's Nest, Road to Pittsburgh Landing, the Sherman-McClernand counterattack, the final Confederate attack, the second day, and the critical left flank. So you've got at least 9 scenarios there, possibly more in here. And of course, the battle book's going to have, the rules that are significant or special to this battle, to this series, this game in the series. So you're not getting all the different rules. You're just getting the ones that are changed in here. So that's why it goes to 5, 6, it skips to 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 30. And then you get into each of the different scenarios here. And they're going to have their own specific rules, set up and probably reinforcements, and then any kind of special rules for that specific scenario. And you get a little bit of a map here showing where that's at as well. So yeah, there you have it. So the battle book is, let's see, as far as new rules, looks like there is about 12 pages, a little over 12 pages, and then the rest is all scenarios in the battle book here, which gets you to 56 pages. But there's quite a bit of designer notes there at the end, a little bit of a picture there, more pictures. So really, from pages 13 to 50, really not just a little over page 50 is or portion of page 50 is your scenarios. So most of the battle book is just that. It's battles. It's about the different scenarios, not only like 12 pages of rules in there. Series rule book. I don't know what version this is. It's the 2021 edition, so I assume there's some new rules updates in this edition. And it looks like it comes in at a whopping, 44 pages, but there's really nothing on the back. You've got 2 pages of index. Always got to like an index. And then you got some optional rule there. So really about 41 pages of rules. And it looks like it's dual column. It's a little small, but you've got some play notes. You've got some full color examples in here. So, I mean, this is not a easy game. This is not an introductory game. This is a little bit more complex in its rules offering. But, several hold this to be, the series to go to. If you want to do the battles of American Civil War, this is the system or series you want to get into. I've got a few offerings of other systems or games that do cover battles, specific battles of the American Civil War. I really need to do a comparison, but I need to play them all a little bit more so I can really do kind of a justice to comparing them. But I find this very interesting. Again, this is a little bit more weighty than some of the other offerings, but a very refined system over the years, something that keeps getting better. So you got your counter sheets. This is that half counter sheet, which is like it's just markers. You've got extended lines, combat, march, collapsed. So you've got all kinds of different shock, and they're dual-sided. You've got some different markers on the other side. So you can mark whether something's marched, whether something is attacked, or the like. Then you have your counter sheets, which again, some administrative markers here. Let's turn it to the right side. You've got your leaders, and you've got your units. And again, these will be, and you see the different color bands because, again, there's an activation system here on how you're going to be pulling out activations and activating those troops. And then, of course, that's also going to be somewhat dependent or modified by the leaders and their combat range or how many activations they might be able to do. And then there's also another level of effectiveness. There's a draw for effectiveness, which gets you how many activations you might have. So there's, again, a few more layers of complexity here than what you might see in just a regular chit pool game. So these are the Confederates, or the South. Then you've got the North here, and again, you get your activations, and then you've got your leaders, and then you've got your units, and you've got some different color bands here. As you can see, quite a bit of information on there. Now, sometimes you can break these units down. So like you see this 16 here, that might be able to be broken down into like 2/8, or you might want to keep the bigger unit and use that extended line. I mean, there's different ways you can divide up your forces depending on what the setup is, and then how you want to use the rules there. Again, these are double-sided. Looks very nice. Then these are your markers, for your. Oh golly, it's been a while since I played this. Is that I'm so used to Great Battles of the Ancient series. Great Battles of History with your cohesion. I don't think it's cohesion. It might be effectiveness, but I got to go back and read up on this. Again, I need to get these more to the table. I shouldn't have bought this. But I had to have it, right? I needed something that was definitive on Shiloh, and this looks like it should be it. Here's more administrative markers, extended lines, fatigue. So you got quite a bit of markers here. It's that kind of game. Very tactical. So there's your markers. Let's just move out here a little bit and let's get these out. Here's your maps. Quite a few maps here. We'll do those last. Then you get your player aid cards, and there's 2 here, which is always good because if you want to play this opposed. Some key tables, rally table, brigade orders charts, and then there's a whole different order system here too. You're basically are issuing orders, and then if you want to change that order, that's going to depend upon the leader that this unit rolls up to change those orders. And again, there's all rules on that. As I said, this is not for the faint of heart. This is one of the more complex systems out there, but definitely one of the more complex Civil War battle systems. Loose cannon, a brigade coordination chart, range effects. So depending upon your weapon, here's your small arms, then your field artillery, your max range, and then you're going to have a modifier based on the range there. Stacking limits, non-phasing fire. Here's your fire table. So you got your range effects, and then a modifier based on range, and then your actual fire. So your combat results. Shock resolution, shock adjustments. So there you go. So nice chart there. You get 2 of those. Here's a terrain effects chart. You get 2 of those. Imagine that. So I have all your different terrain and the effects of it, and then the combat effects, and then potentially if it's blocking or not, and then some notes down here. Then you get your disorder, your second disorder table. Yeah, both of those have that. Okay, and that's something that a little bit different. I have to read up on that. Here's your alert schedule for the April 6th historical scenario. So you got some special rules on that. Rules for Union Brigade missions. Okay, so something a little bit different there. Here's a battle events chart. You got 2 of those, and those are the same. So you got your battle events on one side, and then you get your ammo resupply rules on the other. And let's see what you get here. Here's your turn track for scenarios 1 through 9. And some notes on this. You'll keep track of, basically what happens on the turn, and this will tell you some of the things that are going to happen here. You got to abandon artillery holding boxes and victory point track. And then turn track for scenario 10. So, all right, so 1 through 9, and then 10 gets held out there. Then you got your activation marker sheet, or kind of your holding box for your different activations. Here's the Confederate. ones. You also have a place for eliminated units. Got some special abilities down here. And those are one-sided because you're going to keep those on the board. So you got the Confederate, and then you have the Union one to keep track of that. Come a nice little holding box you'll keep next to the side of the board. You get the two 10-sided die, total of dice, and one's gray, one's blue. Awesome. Very color coordinated there. Then the insert, there's nothing underneath there, and I usually get rid of these because with those you can't put in your counters in a counter tray, or even hard to put them in a bag with that. So let's look at the maps here. Let me just say you get 2 full-size and 2 small scenario game maps. So we got 1, 2, and then maybe they're calling this. So there's 1 for scenario 2, and then scenario 6 on the other side. Get a little bit close up of the map there. So, you know, as you see, there's a lot of woods in here, and hence the name, Into the Woods. You're dealing with that a lot here. So I'd like to read up on how those rules are different. I just heard about it through a lot of, you know, other overviews or unboxings or what have you, and some discussion on that, but I haven't had a chance to really dive into it yet. Let's put this over here. Move this one out. So here's this map here. So you got your train on the side there, and these fold out this way. Here we go. So you've got, see if I can pull this up a little bit more even. There you go. So you got some train key over here. You've got our battle events chart, ammo resupply chart. Pretty kind of a marshy, thick underneath the woods there. On both here, you've got the Tennessee River, Pittsburgh Landing, and these are one-sided. So I imagine you can probably put these together for a bigger map. Let's see if that is the case. Yep, this says the north map right here. And I would assume if my degree in geography holds up, imagine that. This is the south map, as it says right here in the corner. You've got some terrain here. You got a little bit of a hill on here, and then you've got some open fields. So you got Woods Field, Say's Cotton Field, Spain's Field. So you got some open areas to fight, but you know, pretty rough terrain here as far as, you know, some hills, and everything is wooded. And it looks like you got maybe some more marsh. I don't know if that's considered marsh or what that's considered. Yeah, marsh and stream, and marsh is some of this little bit blue color up there. So that is the maps that you get. So you get the 2 big maps that go together, and you get these 2 smaller maps for scenarios 2 and 6. So that is what you get in the box of Into the Woods. A lot of goodies in here. You know, looks like there's some new stuff in here. I mean, there's some, I haven't got all these to the table as much as I'd like, and it's been a while since I've gotten any of them to the table. So, but there looks like there's some new stuff as far as like this Roar of Battle, alert schedule. There might be some different special rules that go in here. As I said, when we looked at before, it looks like there was only like 12 pages of that specific to the scenario. So it'd be interesting if that's covered just for the scenario, or if they updated the, you know, the series rule book for that. I've got some reading to do, but that is what you get in a box of Into the Woods. I hope this was helpful to you. As I said, I've seen some people getting this out. Actually seen some gameplay on this already. It's been out there for a while. Love to hear what you all think about this. You know, is this something that interests you? How does this fit into the system? Is this taking the system in the right direction? Is this a must-have, given that it does things a little bit it looks like it has some unique stuff in it. Any thoughts you have on this? Love to hear them. Love to see them in the comments. As always, thank you for spending some time with me today. I know your time is precious, so any time spent with me is greatly appreciated. But again, love to hear your comments on this and what you think about this. I really like this series. I need to play this a lot more. I need to play some of the other ones I have, so I get a feel for, so I can have a better appreciation for what I like about each one of the systems. I'm kind of that way. I like new stuff. Squirrel. Anyway, easily distracted, but I need to get back into this. So anyway, thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching.